Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Doing Life with Dr. Maria. Thank you for joining us today. For those who do not know me, I am Dr. Maria. I'm a pharmacist by trade and a lifelong learner on purpose. My goal is to educate, inspire, and challenge you to see the life from a different perspective. How do I do this? By sharing experiences with others in hopes to empower you to embrace truth and live a purposeful life. Before we get started, please like and share. All right. Hey guys, do you want to learn how you can win a free BLK Box? Watch our video that we did on Tuesday to see how to win. Now on to the show. It's going to be a good one. Hello, guys. Hello. How are you guys doing today?
We're fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you guys for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
And thank you for having us on. We're super excited to be here for sure.
Oh, well, look, it's going to be a good time. We're going to talk like we cousins, okay? For those who do not know you guys, let me introduce you guys real quick to my guests, okay? They are the founders of the BLK Box, Mr. Seth Ellis and Dr. Simone Ellis. This is a family-owned business, and it's a subscription box for Black-owned businesses ranging in apparel, accessories, food, hair care, and skincare. So thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
You got it. And who do you feel like is the better looking sibling?
Oh, see, I'm not getting into that.
I appreciate it.
Y'all both look fabulous, okay?
There we go.
Good answer.
So before we start, tell us about yourself. Is this your sole career, or what else do you guys do?
You want to start?
Yeah, so I'm actually a cosmetic and general dentist in Missouri City, Texas, outside of Houston. So that is my primary bread and butter. But I definitely start boosting smiles, and this has definitely been birthed out of a secondary source of income for sure.
Yeah. So I'm a software developer. Also, I work in IT, so a lot around networking. I guess you could consider me like a network engineer, just helping to set up networks, around the Houston area. So keeping people connected, like we are here.
Right. So guys, look now. I love it. You to see someone to go from one career to another, because this is like totally different. You guys, like cosmetic dentistry, you're doing connecting people around the world. And what made you come up with this crazy idea which is a great idea, of starting the BLK Box? What happened?
Yeah, so the story behind it was I was always, our family has really had a big entrepreneurial spirit, and Simone was kind of the first one to start a business. And
actually, Dad was.
Oh, Dad was, yeah.
Yeah,
so
my dad had a video store before Blockbuster.
Yeah.
So,
Really?
So, in my mind, I was always wanting to start something. Like I was like, I know I'm gonna be in business. I know I'm try to create something to produce some type of revenue for myself. And I was always connected to my culture in some way, shape, or form. And I was like, how do I merge these two worlds? I was looking at different type of subscription boxes. I actually did a subscription box to a clothing one. And, I liked it. I thought it was really good. And I actually had asked a couple of my coworkers. I said, at the time, I said, what do you think about combining the subscription box, with something involving Black culture, right? Mm-hmm. And, they kind of, we just had a little bit of discussion, but nothing really transpired. And so I just kind of just kept it, to myself for a little bit. And then, my family and I were always kind of discussing different ideas and stuff like that, having those type of conversations. And I was sitting here with Simone, and I said, "Hey, Simone, I had this idea for this business, just kind of like whatever." And Simone, as she was tired from the day, she perked up and was like, Seth, I think that's a really, great idea. I think we should, capitalize on that." And so initially, the main focus of the idea was, wanting to do a subscription box, wanting to connect it to Black culture, but then also one of the more significant factors was, from the research that I've done, from the things that my mom and my family have put me involved in, knowing that from an economic standpoint, the dollar doesn't last a long time within the Black community, even though we are one of the
Biggest consumer. Like
biggest,
spend the most, yeah.
Biggest consumers. And so I said, well, how do we merge these two? How do we, expose people to these amazing products from these Black-owned companies who are doing phenomenal stuff? As you can see from the ones we have displayed, like just great products overall. And how do we go about keeping that dollar within our community for a longer period of time? Because we know when that dollar circulates throughout the community for a longer period of time, you can see so much transformation, so much growth happen, exponentially, right? Exponentially, more businesses, more infrastructure, more money going to education, just so many different avenues to keep that dollar circulating in and help a community continue to grow and prosper. So that ultimately became the Black Box.
Yes. Oh my God. Like you said so many powerful things in there just with economic development and this circulating the Black dollar. For those who do not know, who may be watching the show for the very first time, it is important. That's one thing that we focus on is the Black dollar and how we can help support other Black businesses. And I love this concept. And you already said like you have an entrepreneur spirit, you merge the two. But what have you seen since you started the Black Box within the economic development? Have you seen it increase? Have you seen what's the reaction thus far?
I think the feedback has been really good. What we're trying to do is get people from the clicking to actually subscribing. One of the things that we also realize from Black businesses is that, or just in general in our culture, we definitely want to support each other. We want to cheer each other on, but the actual when it comes down to spending that dollar, that's what I think we've been noticing is that it's a great concept, but how do we get the black culture to actually support it, if that makes any sense. So that's one of our struggles that we're trying to figure out is that how do you go from making an idea, a great idea, to actually making it something that you want to purchase, right? And I know that Seth does a lot of research with myself as well as trying to figure out what companies get tied into the box, making sure that even from the visibility standpoint, those companies have good websites, they have good ability to take the volume that we want to bring to them. That's important. But
because at the end of the day, we just want to be a conduit. And so like some of the brands that we have here, like the Wellness Apothecary and Candle Creek, a great candle company, we constantly want to expose them, right? Like keep on pushing their brand, because ultimately at the end of the day, it's saying, it's great that you guys subscribe to this. We want you all to subscribe, but we also want you to try these companies out
and keep trying
and to keep trying them out, right? Like Vicky pancakes, like I'm constantly eating those. Like those are my weekend snack, because I try to keep low on the carbs during the weekdays, which it doesn't happen because I love chips. But like I can, at the end of the day, I can say like this is a brand that I've loved and I continue to eat. And
or the Black Coffee
or the Black Coffee Company.
I love them, and then also too, they're a Xavier company. Me and Dr. Maria, of course, went to the same HBCU, so making sure that we're able to support them. So I think that that's part of the challenging that we're seeing is how do we continue to get more subscribers, and then the more subscribers we have, the more, like he's saying, we can we're floating that money back to the companies. We're actually purchasing their product. And so they're able to hire more workers. They're able to establish more. One of the other statistics that people probably don't know about Black entrepreneurship is that they are less likely to get the funding that they need to be able to support the business and the growth. So we need to be able to give them that money to be able to do so.
Absolutely. And one thing too, just to kind of step back again, and I'm just throwing this question out there because there are some entrepreneurs on here watching and seeing how or need advice because they might be experiencing the same problem in their business. Do you know, or do you have an idea why it is so hard to get someone from subscribing versus purchasing? Have you, in your research, what have you seen?
I think some of it has to do with right now we're in a society of overstimulation. So you're hopping on to the next best thing, right? So TikTok has become so popular because the attention span of people is so quick. So you'll go on the site, you'll like, oh my God, I like this. And then something else is distracting you from another to purchase. So that, I think that plays a part into some things. I think also too, just brand awareness. So our job is to consistently keep promoting good products. So I think that the longer we're around, people will understand, like, okay, we're not giving you just some rinky-dink subscription box. You're going to get some quality stuff out of there. If you're going to spend your money with us, we want to make sure that we're investing back into brands that have done their marketing research, from their packaging, from their this is another one. This is actually a brother of Xavier Wright, Holly Hall. So they've done their research from, he's a dermatologist. His brother's a dermatologist. His dad's a dermatologist. He's done the work to make sure this product is a really good one. I think that that's part of just knowing that we're giving quality and consistently reinforcing that. Those are some of the things that I think that, Nike wasn't always Nike. So maybe you weren't like paying for Nike at the very beginning. So we've got to stay the course of being consistent.
And can I add something to that?
Yeah.
I remember, so, just in looking at some of the stream, one of the images that we posted up was Blacks don't support Black people. And on the don't, it was cut out to say Black people do support Black people. Mm-hmm. And one of the comments I remember seeing, it kind of golfed at it. It was like, I don't think so. And so that's the narrative that we're trying to change. We're trying to get those people to say that there is hope. And for the Black community, the Black community has always seen these struggles and these conflicts internally and externally. And our job is to make sure during those conversations that we see, or the feedback that we get, we take that feedback, we run with it, and we turn those coals into diamonds, right?
And I want to bring this up also too. Right now is like, what a time to be alive, right? So like we now know that big companies are going to be heavily marketing to the Black community because of the Black Lives Matter movement. And there's some positives and negatives with that. While we do want to make sure that Blacks are being highlighted in that way, we've got to remember though that again, there are smaller businesses that can't do those type of marketing that, and they're going to make big dollars out of it. So we've got to go back to being like, again, let's not forget the mission and the narrative as a community. Like Blacks, we've got to support Black businesses. Like it's great that all these large companies are trying to now make us inclusive, but we've got to support our own, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love the point of you saying, okay, we're not saying not to go and target that big box store. We're just saying that we need to continuously support each other.
Right.
After the big box companies may forget, or they might get their 15%, as I saw yesterday, they get their 15% of business, but there are thousands of Black owned businesses that may not even have a chance to get there. So in the Black box and what you guys are doing, do you have a system in place to help businesses get into your box? Say if they're not at that level, or they don't know how to get packaging, or they don't know how to be vetted by a company. Do you have an educational platform with the Black box?
Well, that's definitely something that I think we should consider, because we don't have that right now. What we do have is that when you go to our website, which is www.blackboxstore.com, you can actually submit your proposal as far as what your product has to offer. And then what we usually do is just ask for a sample to test it out ourselves. So trying to see, like, is it packaged properly? Is it a good quality product? And so we probably put more of the earnest back onto the client to make sure that they're already established. So that's probably a little bit out of our scope. However, there's so many great resources now out here to create really, really good stuff at not even an expensive a cost. Like we've got on our website, Seth is, if you guys are following our Instagram at BLK Box, you get a chance to see like how much he's put into that. And that didn't cost him. It's just a lot of his time.
So a lot of it is, if you're a young entrepreneur starting off, it is, you just got to put your feet to the grind.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I work a 9 to 5 and I come home and it's like, so for lunchtime, I'm on my iPad and I'm looking at our numbers. I'm looking at, okay, how can we post something? What do I need to schedule? So from a logistics standpoint, that can seem a little bit overwhelming, but I love the idea of getting that educational piece out, because that's truly important. I actually had somebody reach out to me and saying, I'm looking to do a subscription box, myself. How did y'all go ahead and get started? And it's nice to know there are others out there who, need that. And I said, well, here's a resource that, that we've used, and we just took it step by step and don't rush, take your time, but understand that, you know, once you get started, your feet are to the grind. Like even after this is over, I'm back on my iPad, you know, just making calls, you know, sending emails, you know, making sure things are where they need to be. So by the time this gets into the hands of, you know, some of our customers, which we all appreciate, that you enjoy it, you love it, and you're like, man, you know, this is what I'm talking about right here. Like you're open, like you know, we want you to be excited. So like you like, I love the design of the box, right. But when I open it up, I'm excited about the products of the box. Not only am I excited about the products of the box, I know they're from Black-owned businesses. Come on, y'all.
Right.
You better tell me something.
Ever see him
it is just you just a triple threat, awesome all the way around, guys. Come on now.
Right. Look, you want them to open the box, like what?
Like just a glow just happens, you know? That glow it's just crazy.
Not the glow. Wait a minute, not the glow too.
The glow. You know all this, you know.
Oh my God, yep, I love it. But you know what? You want people to feel like that, so because you know how we are. If we love something, we're gonna call somebody else to say, "Nah, you got to check this out."
Yeah.
Like call the family tree, y'all. Call them up. Tell them what you got.
Exactly. Call them and tell them what you got.
From our friends, like people who are getting the box, and then they're bringing other people to it, and that's really what we want to go. We want to grow organically like that, where you're just loving the product for sure.
I love that, and I love one thing you keep on going back to family, and one thing you guys don't know this about me, but we have a family business as well. So family business is really important. And so one thing that I noticed about you guys, and even doing my own research, you built this company. You said you want to help Black businesses grow and build something strong and unique, and you based it on your own family dynamic with love, passion, and support. Love it. With that being said, I'm going to have to ask this question, okay? How do you guys manage working together as siblings? Like,
it's really a cool dynamic because I'm the more dramatic. I'm the more dramatic one, and Seth has always been the more like even keel. So like I said, that type of energy of the song, like who is that? So usually that's me, and he's the opposite. But no, I mean, I think that I'm the oldest. I think that there is a level of just absolute love that you have as an older sister that you just want to see. You know, your sister and we have a sister as well, and she's an entrepreneur on herself as well. I just want to see them win, and I think that our parents have done an amazing job of. We grew up in Kansas. We didn't get a chance to like do a whole lot outside. Like my mom was really big on these are your siblings. This is who you love, right? And so it wasn't that we couldn't have friends or something, but she always brought it back to it's the core. And so
we're kind of probably a weird family because I say that because, you know, you see all, you know, maybe the bickering between family members, but just even yesterday we were down at my sister's house, you know, with her and her husband, you know, our stepbrother, and just chilling, sitting around.
Brother.
Oh, brother-in-law.
And our niece. Yeah.
And our niece, and we just chill. So like she understands. Like if she hands me a lot of information, like we kind of understand the dynamic a little bit. Like I understand how she processed when I tell her, hey Simone, we got a meeting at X, Y, and Z time. I know I have to go back and say that again. Like, hey Simone, we got a meeting at X, Y, and Z time. Just so she's aware. And she knows like if she's gonna feed me a lot of information, I have to tell her, Simone, pause. Okay. Right. I either need to be writing this down or chunking it out, right? Let's take care of this one time, this here one time. So we try not to take anything too serious.
Yeah, I think that you understanding, I mean, it's still a partnership, right, at the end of the day. So Seth has been phenomenal with logistics. I am an extreme creative. So I'll be able to say, okay, Seth, like one of the things I really like about the box is like, I was like, okay, we're going to have Africa and we're going to put pictures of our family and friends on the box right there, right? So now he's got to do the part to execute it. So again, it's kind of just like making sure we have the same dynamics. And I don't want to change Seth. And Seth doesn't want to change me. And I think that when you're working in the business, you highlight the positives that really work well. So if he wasn't the way that he was, then it'd be difficult for me to be the way that I am, and vice versa. He knows he's right. Dr. Maria, I am literally, I mean, you know what it is to be an actual like doctor and professional. So my mind is like a bazillion miles a minute. And he took even to yesterday. So you know we have a meeting at this amount of time, and you know we have to do this. I mean, and he'll send the calendar invites, and I'm still like, so what time we having today? So.
But yeah, I mean, you don't get mad at that. You just
right.
It's like, okay, you know.
He probably gets mad, but he keeps it.
Yeah, I'm pretty adaptable, so I'm like, you know, if you throw me in a hurricane, it's like, what do we got to do to make sure we survive this? Yeah. Like, it's just at the end of the day, how are we going to get through this together?
Right.
And that is good. I think that is very important for those listening who have that family dynamic, who are doing business with family, because sometimes, you know, the lines could be crossed. But I love the fact that you guys let your individual personality and gifts and talent shine. So that's really good.
And then I want to add to that, and don't be scared of the difficult conversations. Like it's saying like, okay, right now I'm not in a good place, or this isn't working at, you know, at this level right here. So let's just have this conversation, and being okay with just being a little uncomfortable with those conversations, or just letting people know like your limits, right? Like I think she had texted me like at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock asking about this. I was like, no. Like, we're done, and I'm going to sleep because I wake up early. So and we'll pick it up tomorrow. You know?
Another thing I want to throw out there too is also changing the narrative, right? So we get told so many times that Black families can't work together. There's going to be drama. There's going to be all these issues. Like Black people can't do a professional thing. You know, we are getting fed on so many different levels, like what we can't do. Like he said, if he brought back that post that says Blacks don't support Blacks, right? But the reality is that that's not true. Like we really do support, and we've got to continue to change the narrative. So I think personally, we want people to know, like, he hates that I call him my little brother, but he's my little brother, and I'm his big sister. But yet, I respect him as a business owner, and he respects me as a business owner. And together, you know, we can work together. And at the end of the day, I want my family to win, just like I want your family to win. And it's important to continue to foster that type of energy and love surrounding each other. So.
Wow, that's really good. And the fact, even, you know, change the narrative, fostering a good environment, because you're absolutely right. We hear so much that we can't work together, or I mean, I just recently saw someone say on a post about, they just really talk really bad about this company, and I said to them, you know, I kind of stepped back and I said, well, if you were going to a major corporation, would you write all this on their post?
You would not. Think about it. When we go to restaurants, even I'm so glad you brought this point. When we go to a Black-owned restaurant, we are so quick to be holding them to a whole entire magnifying glass. But we'll go to major restaurants all the time and not be as likely to write something negative about them. But when it's a Black-owned business, because it's Black-owned. No, I mean, if you were to go to Papados and Papados is tripping versus going over to Ma's and having some food there, you know, you're going to be more, and we've got to stop doing that, because at the end of the day, I think that having constructive conversations really does make a difference. That business may just need that pivot in a positive way to redirect it, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's it. Like, y'all.
That part, right?
Right there. I have been to Black-owned businesses, and I say, and out of respect, you know, and people know me, like, in, you know, here, but I say, you know what? I was listening. I looked on the reviews, and some people said this. Can I make a suggestion? And I do it out of love, but it's the way you present yourself too.
Absolutely.
You know, it might be just, you know, bringing bread out before the meal. Bread and conversation goes a long way when, you know, you cooking something fresh back in the kitchen. You know, something like that.
Yeah.
Communication is key, and we've got to do better about what we're communicating. So.
Absolutely. And you said one thing I like is communication is key. And I know, so I want to kind of back up too, because I know there's some people are saying, okay, I want to participate, to get into the Black Box of these other businesses. I know you talked about, you know, going on your website, you guys testing the product, you seeing the packaging. But what about options for affiliate partnerships? Say if there's an influencer out there who might want to refer your product, how does that work?
So the best way to do that, there's actually a couple options. One, you can go to our Instagram page at BLK Box store, and you can shoot us a message there, and one of us will get back to you and just responding with a follow-up email. You can also go to our website, and under the contact section, we have a little contact area where it has our email, which is contact@blkboxstore.com, and they can send us an email there, just letting us know. If you do email us, just let us know, who you are, your name, your company's name, a good contact, whether that's email or by phone, and your website to your product, and just a little bit about who you are and what your company is all about, and we reach back out and see what we can make happen. So yeah.
Okay, great. So look, y'all, they know I have notes. So let me make sure, because I want to cover this because I really believe in this mission and where you guys are going, especially in today's climate. So I just want to make sure I cover all my bases with these questions, okay? And I know as a serial entrepreneur, because Dr. Simone, you own your own cosmetic dentistry. Like, tell someone out there who might be watching, how important is it to have multiple streams of income? Can you guys speak on that for me?
Oh my God, it's so important, especially like times like this now where we know like where businesses can be shut down due to virtual distancing and all kinds of stuff. There is definitely an important need to not be so vested into one stream of income. So I'm even telling my employees, like, do something, do not only do this as your job, but start investing in other things. We have another Xavier, right? I don't know if you're familiar with him, Sean Thomas, where he has like invested in yourself. I love his platform. I love what he's doing. He's really trying to get the younger generation to go ahead and start making those financial choices and decisions with stocks, bonds, and things like that. But when we talk about retirement, I love this idea of having the Black Box go as another form or source of income for me. I know dentistry is definitely important. I enjoy it. But this is also another stream of income that if something ever happens to me where I couldn't practice dentistry, I want to make sure that I'm not just strapped to just one source of income.
Right. And for those who are out there, just invest in yourself. For me, that's real estate investing. Like I learn about it. I'm growing in it. Like I'm already reaching out to mentors about it, because that's going to be a source of income as well, to just bring in some passive income. But if you're going to do it, first get your education, and then that self-investment is so important.
So important.
Right? Like you can take a chunk of your money and go out and spend it on food or clothes or whatever, or you can take a chunk of that money and say, well, I'm going to invest it in this class, right? And there's so many different resources out there, free resources, right, to get this information and just get started, right? You just bullet point it out, all right? Boom, 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 boom. But making sure you're taking some of your money and invest that. That's what I do, right? I'm investing money in marketing. I'm investing money in SEO. I'm investing money into anything that's going to help this business grow, to continue to bring passive income, but also looking at different avenues to say, okay, you want to bring in some more revenue. Let's look at, again, for me, real estate investing.
Yeah.
I like. And one thing you said like learning and even gaining a new skill set. But what about that entrepreneur who's saying, I'm scared, like I don't, how you have those people who they have to research everything to get started.
Oh, paralysis analysis. That was
right.
So that's what's crazy. Like I that's more of like on my brother's side.
Like too much.
I'm like, I actually probably don't do enough research. I'm like, that sounds like a good idea. Let's just go for it. I think that, so I can speak to that. With people who do that, I'm a big person on just get started. Like, it doesn't matter because you're going to fail. So this whole thing about paralysis by analysis is because I think internally we have some fear about failure itself, right? So And let's be very clear, entrepreneurship is extremely difficult. Like, I'm not trying to sell you decide to put some investment in there and you're going to be successful. That's not the case. You have to spend a lot of time, energy, and effort to do so. Like you said, there's so many free resources out here, podcasts, books, you name it. But that fear that people have to get started, I always say, you have the same 24 hours as Beyonce. Like, I mean, Beyonce do a whole lot in her whole entire 24 hours.
Right.
So she makes a lot of things happen in 24 hours, or she hires a very important team behind her to make those things go. And that's another thing with fear as well. People are fearful of what they don't know. So if you don't know it, hire someone or invest in something to get that done, right? So I'm on the complete other side of that spectrum. I'll jump off and start a business in a heartbeat and be like, I'm gonna see where it goes. Whereas, and I think that's the balance, because my brother is gonna do the analytics a little bit more than I am, and maybe that's something that for those people who are fearful, they need to get with someone, that may be more of a creative, or be surrounded, maybe not a business partner per se, but be surrounded by those individuals who are going to kind of push that envelope for you. Create a mastermind group of interested investors or intellects that'll help kind of feed you in different ways to make you push your dreams to where you need to be.
And with those who have, paralysis by analysis, like me, it just comes down to you make your list, do one little thing at a time.
He loves
right?
a list.
You do one little thing at a time, right? Because ultimately, I'm like a turtle, right? I'm just at a slow pace, right? And we're just going along, right?
Yeah.
Where those people like running like a marathon or running like a sprint, like this is a business, right? So we treat it like a marathon and we check things off, right? And it could be something so small as to, okay, today I'm going to research X, Y, and Z and get that information. Okay, tomorrow, what are my like now with me, it's like, what are my top 5 things that I need to get done today? Like when I go to sleep, I want to make sure that I'm feeling like I've accomplished something, whether it's big or small. And don't feel, I think my mom would always say, and I rolled my eyes when she said, but you probably heard this saying, like, how do you eat an elephant?
No.
Right, one bite at a time.
Yeah, right.
That's my mama too. I think I'm like, Mom, okay.
I didn't heard it. But she's so right in the sense of if you're gonna see it from a bird's eye perspective, you really need to focus in and center in on, okay, what are my 3 things that I just want to get done today? Okay. And if there are some things that need to be, like if it's still too big picture, you need to break that down even smaller and say, okay, today I'm gonna tackle this. There's some resources out there that I can get, like Simone was saying, I may be able to get some help on. So I'm gonna reach out to that and just go along. But it's action. Even when you're doing your research, that is action. You are taking action, right? So it's just keep moving forward. Wake up with some affirmations. For me, it's like, I internalize some of my ancestors. I'm like, if my ancestors can go through all of this, I definitely can make it through this. Like, this is nothing. Like, if we fail, we lose some money here and there. That's okay. We learn from it. We get over the bumps. We just say one little step at a time.
Man, that is amazing. Like, okay, so we're gonna end the interview on that. Like, that's one step at a time. I'm so excited to see where the Black Box is going and getting more people, getting the word out there. There we go, up to the top. Look, you said, what did you say? Like the little glow when you open the box.
You got that glow? Like, oh.
Right. So I'm excited. For those who are interested in finding out more about the Black Box, I do have their Instagram, their Facebook on as well. You can reach out to them again. Tell me how they can email you. Can you give that information again?
Yeah, it's contact@blkboxstore.com, or you can just send us a message on Instagram as well.
And I am encouraging every person that's got an opportunity to look. We have several different subscription types, so you do not have to subscribe for the whole year. Mm-hmm. But if you're listening to this, please give us an opportunity to earn your business by subscribing to the actual box is $34.99 for the month for that one box. And if you love the product, you can continue to come back and get the subscription. We have some amazing things lined up. So if you can check out www.blkboxstore.com, just give us the opportunity to earn your business. Subscribe to 1 month box if you would like to. We'd love for you. Dr. Maria, I hope that you go ahead and subscribe to us.
Yes,
but I hope for all your viewers as well. We really want to make sure that we are exposing as many companies as we possibly can, and we need your help to do so.
Absolutely. Yes, you got me. I'm like, I was trying to do it earlier. I was like, oh man, you already got me as a customer.
Awesome.
Thank you guys again for joining us today. Y'all check them out, okay? This is the real deal. And you know I don't have everybody on my show. So when I say they coming on and they're the real deal, you know they're the real deal, okay? All right, and so for those again who do not know me, I am Dr. Maria Graham, and I always end the show by saying this: today is the first day to the rest of your life. So tell me, how are you doing life? All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Take care.